I'd like to tell you about the most important decision of my life. I'm an ordinary woman. Just like everyone else, I put my skirt on one leg at a time. I'm just an ordinary person who enjoys expressing her thoughts. There's nothing unusual about my life. In fact, it's quite dull. So let me turn to my former life. That may be a little more interesting. I lived most of my life as a boy and later as a man. That may sound weird, but it's true. I'll have you know, I was a very convincing boy and a convincing man. The weird part of my life was what decided my weirdness. I never found the exact answer to that question, but the only thing I know, it was not a relative, a friend, or even a casual acquaintance. It was a perfect stranger. That someone knew absolutely nothing about my aspirations, abilities, or desires. He was so automatic about it. I don't think he even gave it any thought. He just went ahead and said, I was a boy. No investigation, no consultation, nothing. Oddly enough, once he pronounced I was a boy, it became a fact I was a boy. My parents, the city's records, even the United States government agreed with him. He might have meant well, but he was wrong. Unfortunately for me, I'm the only one who knew he was wrong. Everyone believed he was correct. And after a while, even I had to go along with the flow. It's difficult for me to understand why the most far-reaching decision, the most important decision in my life, was made by a stranger. That individual determined that I would have a boy's name and called him and sir. I hate to be called sir. That announcement determined what clothes I would wear and even the color of the clothes I would wear. That decision determined what toys I would be given to play with and whether my playmates would be girls or boys. That decision even determined the games I would play. I always thought I'd be very good at jacks, but no one let me play jacks. I learned quickly that jacks and all the other games that girls played were not co-ed. That wasn't fair, and because of that, I still don't like to play any games. The only time I could play a girls' game was when my cousins came to visit. And at those times, I could play house with them. It was so much fun. I loved that. But after a while, I wouldn't play house with my cousins anymore. They said I had to be the father because I was a boy. That ended my fun in playing house for me. I'd rather do nothing than be a boy, even a make-believe boy. Don't you think those boy or girls' decisions should be reserved for me? I do. But the guy who called all the shots was a doctor. A doctor! Doctors know about sickness and they should stick with what they know. Psychologists know what's in your head and about feelings. The psychologist I know would have listened to what I have to say about what I am. I'm sure today's psychologist would tell my parents to give me the opportunity to play jacks. Being a guy is not that terrible if you're a guy. If you're not a guy, testosterone is a poison. It destroys your appearance. Too little estrogen and too much testosterone do terrible things to your body also. It hides you from the world. It's like masking your femininity. Because of that, I bought a mask of a woman's face just to cover testosterone. I don't wear this much anymore, but so many people think it's not becoming. The only thing testosterone did not change was my need to be a woman. I had to grow to an adult before I could finally break away from being a guy. I now know that when you grow to be a man and then fulfill your need to be a woman, something mysterious forces you to take risks. That same is true of some of my friends who a doctor said were girls, but they were really boys. They suffered the damage of estrogen and not enough testosterone, all because somehow doctors were given the right to make premature decisions about us. We all place ourselves at risk to realize our true identity. Some irresistible force drives us to dress and take powerful hormones to look and feel like our true selves. We do these things knowing that there are people out there who want to harm us and even kill us. Those haters forget the commandment second only to loving God. Love thy neighbor as thyself. They disregard, thou shalt not kill. They make it necessary to have a day set aside to remember those transgender girls and boys who were killed by haters. But TDOR, the Transgender Day of Remembrance, is more than a memorial to victims of hate. TDOR calls attention to the urgent need for transgender civil rights, equal protection under the law for everyone, everywhere. To help promote those things, we need to support TDOR financially to ensure the work goes on. After all, that's the reason we're all here, aren't we? So let's get on with the fun and enjoy the show.
Thank you, Sarah Palin.
Now, it'll be a good evening if I don't break my neck on these parts.